Happening with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA is absolutely absurd. I actually think we're running into a bigger problem than people realize. If you're not familiar with what's going on, basically Caitlin Clark has been getting obliterated on the basketball court. It's very obvious that girls are coming for her. She's getting technical fouls for clapping. Just recently there was a player that literally was like pushing her in the neck, like punching her in the neck, like this is WWE. The bigger issue I see here is far greater than money. WNBA showcasing that when a generational, a once in a lifetime player who economists are literally predicting Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is in the billions, you guys. When a girl of that much value goes into the...
What's unfolding right before our eyes is a devastating message being sent to every young girl watching the WNBA right now. Don't shine too bright, don't be too successful, and don't dare lift everyone around you, because the moment you do, they will come for you. And what we're witnessing with Caitlin Clark has long stopped being just about basketball. This is the story of a league actively sabotaging the very person generating billions in economic impact, simply because certain players and referees cannot handle the weight of her success. And the numbers, they don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the only athlete in the entire history of women's basketball whose jersey sales rival those of Steph Curry. She has pulled an extraordinary 2 million viewers to games that once struggled to crack 200,000. Economists are projecting her total impact on the WNBA in the billions, with a B. And yet, she is sitting out games not because of poor performance, not because of rest, but because this league has completely failed to shield her from what can only be honestly described as targeted violence.
Clark and Alyssa Thomas situation is worse than the first one when she got a technical just for clapping. One thing about this internet, your boy John always say, it give it and it will damn sure take it away. And that's exactly what is occurring with the WNBA. See, the WNBA didn't know how to survive and succeed on the success of Caitlin Clark. Well, something that they're about to go through is a boycott like no other. Fans are demanding something be done with this Alyssa Thomas situation for criminal, or they're already canceling WNBA league passes. The viewership is about to go down. I'm expecting tomorrow game to be one of the lowest viewed games of the entire WNBA season possible.
Let's take a careful step back and establish exactly what happened here, because every single detail matters. During a recent game, Alyssa Thomas didn't simply foul Caitlin Clark. She made direct contact with Clark's neck area in what looked far more like a wrestling move than anything resembling a basketball play. 3 players were standing in the vicinity. The referees had their eyes on the action, and somehow, completely inexplicably, not a single foul was called. This was not a split-second play that happened too fast for anyone to catch. This was blatant, it was captured on camera, and it resulted in what witnesses on the scene described as a gruesome injury that left Clark completely unable to continue. Now here's where things get significantly worse. The 2 referees working that game, Gina Cross and Angelica Suffren, carry a documented history with Caitlin Clark that stretches all the way back to her college days. Fans pulled the receipts almost immediately, and what they found were unmistakable patterns. Games officiated by these 2 referees involving Clark consistently revealed massive free throw disparities. In one game, the opposing team attempted 32 free throws while the Fever were awarded just 15. That's a staggering -17 differential. Once is a mistake, twice you might call coincidence, but when it keeps happening with the exact same referees, that is no longer a coincidence. That is a pattern.
And if you guys have been tracking the channel for a while about how much these WNBA referees make. Now, at the time, it wasn't nothing. Some even got paid just $400 a game to ref these games. Now, a lot of these referees are NBA referees, but here's the thing. A lot of these referees come from YMCAs, high school. There is no referee college or something. Now, there is courses that they take to kind of work on making calls. They take little things at the end of the season, have meetings, and they go over every call from the entire season that garnered review, that garnered.
The internet moves fast, and when fans get angry enough, they do their homework with remarkable speed. Within hours of that non-call, social media was completely flooded with evidence, screenshots from previous games, detailed statistical breakdowns exposing how differently Clark's games are officiated whenever certain referees are assigned. and video compilations packed with questionable calls and non-calls. And what emerged from all of it was genuinely damning. These aren't simply frustrated fans blowing off steam. These are people presenting cold, concrete data. They're showing that when Cross and Suffren officiate fever games, Caitlin Clark receives significantly fewer foul calls than she does with any other officiating crew. They're documenting that opposing players can make physical contact that would draw flagrant fouls in any NBA game, and these referees don't even reach for the whistle on a common foul. The evidence points to either staggering incompetence or something far more troubling, intentional bias. One fan pointed out something that should absolutely terrify the WNBA's front office, saying these referees aren't qualified to work fifth-grade games, let alone professional basketball at the highest level. And honestly, when you actually look at the resumes, they have a valid point. Many WNBA referees come from high school basketball, YMCA leagues, and recreational circuits. There is no extensive minor league pipeline for officials the way there is for players. They complete some courses, attend some meetings, review controversial calls at the end of the season, and that is essentially it. The NBA employs full-time professional referees who train year-round. The WNBA, until very recently, was paying part-timers just $400 per game.
Or happening because they don't want to be labeled an ist or a probe. Until people can get over their fear of words, this will continue. These are not mistakes. It is intentional bias against Caitlin Clark. It goes on to say, great stats here against Angelica WNBA. We would like to hear from you. How incompetent do you get to be before being let go? Just let her focus on dancing, probably what she was doing and why she missed calling the foul when 3 players was near Caitlin. This was at the game when Caitlin Clark was severely injured. I'ma have to say she was severely injured.
But let's be honest, the referee situation is really just one deeply troubling piece of this much larger disaster. The real issue is what this entire unfolding situation reveals about how the WNBA actually views Caitlin Clark. And based on their actions, or more accurately their stunning and repeated inaction, the league treats her as a problem to be quietly managed rather than a generational asset to be fiercely protected. Think about this logically for just a moment. You have a player who is generating unprecedented, record-breaking revenue. Ticket sales are up across the entire league, not just for Fever home games, but for road games too. Arenas that used to sit half empty are now selling out completely because fans everywhere want to watch Caitlin Clark play. Television ratings have shattered every previous record in existence. Merchandise sales are absolutely through the roof. Corporate sponsorships that wouldn't touch the WNBA with a 10-foot pole are now lining up with their checkbooks wide open. This is the textbook definition of a generational talent whose impact reaches far beyond the sport itself. And what does the league do in response? They allow her to be physically targeted game after game. They assign referees with documented bias to officiate her games. They hand out a technical foul when she claps her hands in frustration, the exact same thing male players do 50 times a game without a single consequence, yet they refuse to call flagrant fouls when she is getting struck in the neck. They let Alyssa Thomas suit up and play the very next game like absolutely nothing happened, while Caitlin sits out injured. The message could not possibly be any clearer. We don't actually want you here. We just want your fans' money.
To be honest with you guys, man, it ain't looking good for the WNBA right now. I don't think there's nothing they could do. They got to suspend her more games, bro, for them to try to save this league. They have to suspend her for more games. Something has to be done. I just got to be completely honest with you. We got posts like this. Somebody said I stopped watching the WNBA 2 weeks ago. My wife stopped watching after last week. We canceled our league pass. There is nothing for me in the W. It may have been Caitlin Clark's childhood dream as a second grader to play in this horrific league, but I was an adult. I'm done watching this hate fest. And they got Kathy on there, bro. This is very, very damaging.
Fans aren't just venting on social media anymore. They're fully organizing, taking real action, and doing it in the one powerful way that leagues actually pay attention to. They're hitting the WNBA directly in the wallet. The hashtag Lights Out with Caitlyn started trending across platforms within hours, and the concept behind it is both simple and utterly devastating. When the Fever play their next game without Caitlyn Clark on the floor, fans are calling for a complete and total boycott. Don't watch it on TV. Don't stream it. Don't show up in person, even if you already have tickets in hand. The goal is to create a measurable, undeniable crater in the viewership numbers so deep that the league simply cannot ignore it or explain it away. Make it so blindingly obvious that even the most out-of-touch executive in that front office has to finally acknowledge that Caitlyn Clark is the only reason most of these people are watching in the first place. And here's the thing, it is already working. Fans are posting screenshots of canceled WNBA League Pass subscriptions in real time. Season ticket holders are demanding full refunds. Comment sections everywhere are packed with people saying they are completely done, not just for one game, but for the entire season. One person wrote that they flew across an ocean just to watch Caitlyn play, and they are still sitting this game out on principle. Another shared that their child wears Clark's jersey to bed every single night, and they are now sitting that kid down to explain why the TV will be off tonight, why sometimes you have to stand up for someone even when it costs you something you truly love. This is not a small and vocal group of internet trolls. This is a massive and significant portion of the WNBA's brand new fan base, the people who discovered women's basketball entirely because of Caitlyn Clark, making a loud, coordinated statement. And the league should be absolutely terrified right now.
Now, out because of a game that should have protected her, but didn't. Out because warning signs were given and ignored. Out because the foul that should have been called wasn't. And the player who filled these arenas, who put this league on magazine covers and prime time, will instead be sitting in street clothes instead of warming up. I'm done waiting on Kathy and the league to police itself. So here's what we're going to do instead. When the Fever take the court against the Sparks, I'm calling on every one of you, every fan who picked this sport back up because of her, to sit it out with me. Lights out with Caitlyn.
That European fan who crossed an entire ocean just to watch one single game understands something the WNBA apparently still hasn't figured out. This was never about one player receiving special treatment. This is about basic fairness and fundamental player safety. This is about a league that spent decades desperately begging for mainstream attention, finally receiving it, and then turning around and actively sabotaging the very person who delivered it to them. The Lights Out with Caitlyn movement is resonating so deeply because it isn't asking fans to abandon the sport they love forever. It is asking them to send one clear, focused, and completely measurable message. If you refuse to protect the player we showed up to see, we are not going to reward you with our viewership or our hard-earned money. It is strategic, it is focused, and it is exactly the kind of organized collective action that makes sports leagues genuinely nervous, because history has shown that it works. What makes this movement particularly powerful is the rock-solid reasoning standing behind it. These fans are not saying Caitlyn Clark should never be fouled or that she deserves some kind of preferential treatment above everyone else. They are saying she deserves the exact same protection that every other marquee star player receives as a baseline standard. LeBron James drives to the basket and someone barely breathes on him wrong. The whistle blows immediately. Steph Curry gets held off the ball. The refs call it without hesitation. That is not special treatment. That is simply the established standard for how professional leagues protect their biggest stars. The WNBA isn't even extending Caitlyn Clark basic protection, let alone anything resembling star treatment. And the fans calling out the glaring contrast in how she is treated compared to everyone else have the receipts to back it up. They are posting side-by-side video comparisons for the entire world to see. Here is a play where Caitlyn gets absolutely hammered driving to the basket, no call. Here is a play where another star player receives similar contact, immediate whistle. Here is Caitlyn receiving a technical foul for clapping her hands. Here is another player screaming directly into a referee's face, no technical whatsoever. The evidence is completely overwhelming, and every single bit of it is captured on video.
Nobody watching. Not because we don't love this game, but because we do. Love means we are not just background noise when she is the one paying the price. If you flew across the country for a single game like I flew across the ocean, sit this one out anyway. If you've never missed a tip-off, miss this one. If your kid wears her jersey to bed, let her know why the TV is off this time. This isn't about punishing the Sparks, it's about...
The broader implications of this deeply troubling situation stretch far beyond one player or one single season. Think carefully about what message this sends to the next generation of young female athletes, and that is not a rhetorical question. Young girls are watching all of this unfold in real time, and they are absorbing lessons that the WNBA almost certainly does not want them to learn. They are learning that even if you are the absolute best at what you do, even if you bring unprecedented and historic success to every single person around you, even if you are personally generating billions in economic value for an entire league, you will still be torn down the moment you shine too bright. They are learning that jealousy and resentment carry more weight than merit and excellence ever will. They are learning that the very officials and referees sworn to protect the integrity of the game might actually be the ones quietly enabling your mistreatment. Is that genuinely the message the WNBA wants to broadcast to the world? Because right now, that is exactly what is being transmitted loud and clear to every young girl who has ever closed her eyes and dreamed of playing professional basketball someday. Work hard, be exceptional, lift everyone around you to heights they never reached before, and then watch as the system punishes you for daring to do it. That is not just devastating for Caitlin Clark as an individual. That is absolutely catastrophic for the entire future of women's basketball as a sport.
And with hope and with empty seats. Fans who came back because of her.
So as you guys just heard there is a growing concern with fans wanting to boycott this league. I want to know your thoughts down in the comments section. And I'm going to continue to track this, man, every step of the way. Till next time.
So where exactly does all of this leave us? The WNBA is facing a very real crisis entirely of its own making, and the clock is ticking loudly on how they choose to respond. Every single hour they remain silent, more fans cancel their subscriptions. Every day they fail to take meaningful action against the officials who refuse to protect their biggest star, more people join the boycott. Every game Caitlin Clark sits out injured while Alyssa Thomas suits up and plays. The anger grows deeper and spreads further across the fan base. The league does have options available to them, but none of those options are easy, and every single one of them requires openly admitting they have handled this situation catastrophically wrong from the very beginning. They could suspend the officials involved and launch a genuine, transparent investigation into officiating bias. They could issue a sincere and public apology to Caitlin Clark and immediately implement stronger player protection standards across the entire board. They could suspend Alyssa Thomas for additional games, sending an unmistakable message to the whole league that physically targeting star players carries serious and very real consequences. They could completely overhaul their officiating training and evaluation system from the ground up to ensure nothing remotely like this ever happens again. But here is what they almost certainly will not do. They will not acknowledge that a significant portion of their players and staff deeply resent Caitlin Clark for reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with basketball. They will not admit that some of this deliberate targeting is rooted in jealousy over her skyrocketing success, her lucrative endorsement deals, her massive popularity, and yes, potentially her race and background as well. They will not confront the deeply uncomfortable truth that the WNBA has a serious culture problem where excellence gets punished rather than celebrated when it comes from the wrong person. The fans organizing these boycotts understand all of this with complete and total clarity. They see exactly what is happening in real time. They recognize every single pattern being laid out right in front of them. They know this stopped being about basketball a long time ago, if it ever truly was. This is about whether the WNBA is genuinely capable of getting out of its own way long enough to capitalize on the single biggest opportunity in the entire history of the league. And based on absolutely everything we have witnessed, the honest answer appears to be no. Caitlin Clark handed mainstream America to the WNBA on a silver platter. She brought in casual sports fans who had never once sat down to watch a women's basketball game in their entire lives. She delivered corporate sponsors, lucrative television deals, and sold out arenas night after night without fail. She brought legitimacy, widespread respect, and billions in economic impact to a league that desperately needed all of it. And in return, the league has stood by and allowed her to be targeted, injured, and repeatedly disrespected while doing absolutely nothing meaningful to stop it. The Lights Out with Caitlyn movement is fans collectively saying enough is enough. They're saying if you refuse to protect her, we will refuse to support you. They're saying our viewership is not unconditional, and you're about to learn that painful lesson the hard way. They're saying we came here for Caitlyn Clark, and if you do not want her here, then we do not want to be here either. The WNBA has a critical choice to make, and they need to make it fast. They can protect their biggest star, hold officials accountable, and build on this historic momentum. Or they can keep stumbling down this destructive path and watch helplessly as the fans who saved their league walk away just as quickly as they arrived. Those fans do not owe the WNBA a single thing. They showed up for Caitlyn Clark, and they will leave for Caitlyn Clark too. Will the boycott land with real impact? Will viewership crater in ways the league simply cannot ignore or explain away? Will they finally wake up and grasp what they are on the verge of losing forever? One thing is absolutely certain: the internet giveth and the internet taketh away. You do not get to benefit from someone's brilliance while allowing them to be brutalized on the court. You do not get to cash the checks her popularity rights while refusing to protect her. You cannot have it both ways. The real question is whether the WNBA will finally do what they should have done from day one: protect Caitlyn Clark, celebrate her remarkable success, and build a league truly worthy of her once-in-a-generation talent. Because right now they are failing on all three counts, and the fans who matter most are watching, organizing, and voting loudly with their wallets. Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is truly just getting started.